Hi, everyone. This is Betsy with PC Mac Technology Services, and welcome to today's tech video about Google searching. Now, many people that I meet during the lessons that I give on a daily basis usually know how to Google something, and that's of all ages. I probably meet with people uh, from the age of 3 to 93. And although the 3-year-olds probably aren't Googling that much on a computer, although they're trying, many people that I meet along the way do know how to do a Google search. But how efficient are you with your search criteria? For instance, if we were looking for the top podcasts of 2019, let's say, we might put in search criteria such as that. And Google is going to give us this standout feature called a snippet. But it represents a graphic. Sometimes there's a graphic on the right side of the page. Um, it also, if you look a little bit higher, I love pointing this out to people. Just for that criteria, Google has found 735 million results in less than 2 seconds for top podcasts in 2019. A podcast being something similar to a radio show. Uh, Sometimes it's video based, but most of the time it's just audio based. And you can find it available from your phone, your iPad. Uh, Music streaming services have podcasts, so you can listen to them through your Alexa device if you have that, even through your computer. But if you look at our results here, as I scroll down, of course, in a Google result, the blue is going to be the link that takes me to the page. The green is the website that it's referring to. And then the black text is a piece of text from that website where my search criteria was found. So you see the words uh, podcasts 2019. That's interesting. It highlighted the word best, which is a synonym of top. So it's you can see here in bold, Good Housekeeping in the summer did an article about best podcasts for 2019. Cosmo did an article, and so on. So this first page of Google results is handing me each one is from a different website. As we scroll down, you can see very similar types of articles. So what if you wanted to narrow that down a bit? Let's say you were looking for kids. So top podcasts from this year for kids. If I just add on those extra terms in the search box, once again, clicking up at the top, I can just edit what I typed and add on either for kids, you can do for moms, you can do for new moms, and for business owners. And as we look down here, you can see instead of that 743 million just by adding for kids, it has narrowed it down to a fraction of that. Wow, we're all the way at 240 million. We still have many to search through, don't we? But once again, the snippet from FeedSpot is featured at the top, and you go on your way. You might find an article relating to a podcast that you want to look into. Podcasts are usually free. Um, that's a nice benefit of them. But let's go a little further. We're going to be a little more specific. So we're going to say podcasts for business owners. Let's see how many we have. of those. So still, we're really narrowing it down, 125 million. Um, let's say if we want to say uh, about finding yourself. So this is just terms that came up. Top podcasts, business owners about finding yourself. Look, we're down to 8 million. We're getting very specific now, aren't we? Once again, the top snippet here, best entrepreneur podcast. That would have been another way to say business owners. Entrepreneur indicating more small businesses. So here's an article from the Balance smb.com. And as we go down, very similar results to the ones we saw with kids and even top ones. So of course, adding on criteria will really filter it down for you. But I want you to notice this bar just below your search criteria, where you can see all, which are your results that are web results. That's where you're going to see website results. And it's really a mixture. I should say it's a mixture of all. That's why it's under all. But that's where you're going to see your website links. If you click on news, then you're just going to see what's in the news relating to your search criteria. So this is going to give you, just as it does, links to news articles, whereas possibly all might have a mixture. It might lead you to places where you could start listening to the podcast rather than reading about it. If you go to images, now these are pictures that were gathered from places all over the web relating to our search criteria, but it's just the images. We could do shopping. Maybe there's a book related to the person who is giving the podcast. If we work our way back to all, you can see I'm working down this bar here. I'm going to skip over videos. I'm going to go all the way to the end here where you see tools. No matter what Google search you are doing, you should direct your eyes to this bar, because if you're looking for an article that is current, uh, you're going to want to use the tools filter. When you click on tools, you get this sub bar here, subtitle. And one of the items says anytime. And if you click there, you get a drop down of choices where I can say, you know what, I would like just to know in the past month for top podcasts of 2019 about business owners, uh, finding maybe motivational. I'd like to know results that are just in the last month. And you can see here 19 hours ago, 19 hours ago. Here's one from August 1st, August 15th, August 7th. And our results are much different, aren't they? From the millions that we started with originally. So that really filters it down nicely. And you can do that with any criteria. It does not have to be about podcasts. If you want to, you could just pick another time frame. You could go back to any time. You could bring it up to even the past hour. That's good if you're looking for news sources, especially if you or yourself or your children or grandchildren are doing some sort of project and you need to do some research to find out some web content that is very current. But you can always click here where it says clear, and then it brings you back based on your criteria, it brings you back to all results again. But here's a trick that is one of my favorites. So we're going to come up here to our search bar, and I'm going to erase that. And I'm going to say podcast 2019. And just let me pause there a minute. You can see Google is starting to try to guess what I want to search for. So those are always nice to look at. You can see what it's suggestions are. But I'm going to use what's called the Cite command. Now what this does is it allows me to put in a website. I have to put the word cite and then a colon, and then I'm going to put the website that I know specifically. I have to have that website ahead of time. So I have to know that a website called anchor.fm is very well known for publishing podcasts. And I'd like to know what are the podcasts on just that site, and watch what happens when we do the search. Look at our results. We do have 12 million, but look at all the green from each result. Each of my findings here is something that is existing on anchor.fm, anchor.fm, anchor.fm. So let me do another one. I'm going to come back to that one. I'm going to give you another example of the cite command. If we were looking for anything, it could be I'm looking for lodging and hiking trail ideas, but I'd like it to come from, now the moment I type the word cite and then a colon, now I'm settled in to finding information from a specific website. And once again, you have to know the website that you're searching. Now, if I had just left off the cite command and I just gave it lodging and hiking trail ideas, that's an extremely broad search because it would search the entire internet. But by putting on cite, colon, and then www.hawaii.com, my search criteria is just for that website. You can see, and it's just 3 results, extremely filtered. We'll come back up here. I know it's a tease, isn't it? Because we're not really going to Hawaii today. But I'm going to go back to my podcast in 2019, and I'm going to ask about podcasts about life. And there's our cite command, anchor.fm. Now you see, I don't have to put podcasts about life. I could have. Google doesn't need you to put little words in like on, of, about, the. It would ignore those words anyway. But you can put in a phrase in the Google box. But look what it's found. Each podcast title has the word life in it. Pretty neat. That's a very specific Google result. So it's finding it on anchor.fm, and it is finding the word life somewhere, either in the title, most likely, or in the description. Life is full of all kinds of messages and so on. Okay. Why have I led you down this path? Well, good friend of mine, author, someone I worked with many years ago, has a podcast on anchor.fm. She actually started doing this podcast a month ago, and I have been listening consistently. I think it's an excellent podcast if you are looking to find motivation about how to conquer a dream that you might have, and you just feel right now that you're not getting anywhere and you want some inspiration. I would guide you to this podcast. And it's really one of her episodes. Uh, I would say it's about 30 days ago. She talked about how to get anything you want and how to get something done in 30 days. And I took it very seriously because this uh, doing these videos was something I always wanted to do. I have friends that I work with who urge me to do the videos, and I always found some reason not that I wasn't getting them done until I heard the episode about you can get anything that you want and you can get it done. Pick something, you can get it done in 30 days. And I wrote it all down and broke it down into tasks, which is what the episode with Teresa talked about. So I thought it would be fun to dedicate this search criteria to how would I find her podcast on the internet. Of course, you would have to know the author. You'd have to know the person who gives the podcast. Maybe you've heard of another person who gives a podcast, and you could certainly type in the criteria similar to this and see how Google guides you to it. Teresa's podcast is called The Flight of Your Life. And you can see right here, this is breaking down each episode. So it's like Anchor FM, Flight of Your Life, and then it gives the episode names here. That's what this Google result is doing. So when you click on it, it brings up Anchor.fm's website where you can be guided to listen to it on Spotify. You can listen to it on your iPhone. Uh, you have that icon for Apple Podcasts. You can listen to it on your Android phone, Android being any other brand than Apple, uh, on Google Podcasts, and then here are all the episodes. You can also find her on Facebook and search her up there, and you can find links to all of these episodes. Or leave a comment on my video here, and I'll give you the direct link. So you can see how our Google searching, when we use the Cite command, leads us directly. It filters it down and leads us directly to what we're looking for. You remove the criteria or click back on the rainbow Google, then it brings you back to the home page where you can do your next search. So that concludes today's lesson on efficiently searching Google.